Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. So I'm going to make a quick video about inshallah about the moon, that a lot of time we get confused about moon, that when is it born or when the Ramadan starts and fasting, and many times people are off by day or day before or things like that. And so simple way to explain is when the moon is born, um, um, it depends where you are on earth. If the moon is born and you are doing asr where you live, and if you're doing asr where you live, you're fasting the next day because you hasn't sunset is the borderline. If you have seen the sun, if you're in this part of the earth, so earth is coming like this and this is sunset, if you're behind that, then you're fasting the next day. But if you have passed the sunset, let's say you're doing Isha and then they announce that the moon is born, or the moon is gonna, well, actually we know exactly when is the moon will be born, exact precise time. This is not something that you have to go look. We know exactly where the moon is any given moment. So we will know, we actually know for the next years, so many years, that where exactly the moon will be at what time, and we can calculate every year when exactly the Ramadan will be, which part of the world, how many fastings we'll have, 29 or 30. Everything is all very simple and to know where exactly it will be. And this is one thing, but to explain it to you that this is, if you have passed the sunset, if you have passed the sunset point, then you are too late. You have to go all the way around the next morning, the Zohar, Asr, Maghrib. Now you're gonna fast that day. But if you haven't met if it's Zohar time, Asr time, or anywhere this part, you gonna fast the next day because you hasn't, sunset is the borderline. Anybody before the sunset, anytime the moon is born, anytime there, you are fasting. You have to pass the Maghrib time, then you fast the next day. But if you're Isha time, sometime we used to hear long time ago that we're doing Isha, say, oh, the moon is born, tomorrow is fast, tomorrow is Rosa. No, not for you. You have to go all the way around. So this is the simple way to understand when the moon is born, and we know exactly when the moon is born. It's not something that it's a secret, or that we can say we don't know the location of the moon precisely calculated. Mashallah, as a submitter, we know already when the fasting will start, exactly when it's going to end, when is the night of destiny, when is the Laylatul Qadr, and all those things are precisely calculated. Yet we sometimes get into arguments and questions, confusions, what to do. Then people will say, we follow that community. If they're wrong, it's their responsibility. Yet we have the technology, we have the information, with God's lead, that we know exactly. We are living in an era that we know so much, mashallah. We know exactly. It's not to how to know or when. We know when this is happening, and exactly when your Zohar starts. We don't go outside, look at the sun position. When the sunset prayer starts, we don't go outside and look at the sun is gone or not. We know, we have clocks. We're always sitting inside the room and we can start Maghrib and we know when it is. Yet we can rely on watches and other stuff for the sun location, but for the moon location, we get so confused. Moon is not something, it's hidden. We know exact precise location of the moon at every given moment, just like the sun. So why we get so confused? It is sad to say, half of the family within the same household, living in the same house, some of the people were fasted in one day, and then the other were in a different day because they're following different masjid. So this is a kind of sad situation, that we are debating on when the moon will be born, when the whole world knows exactly the location of the moon, where it will be, where exactly at any given moment. Yet we get so arguments, and who you following, this person who's following, and why it comes to so much confusion when we talk about the moon. Whenever they send the rover to the Mars, and Mars is another planet, you know, and the orbit that it goes, and they know where exactly Mars is and which direction of how it's going to be coming, where's Earth and how it's going to be coming, and so they shoot the rover in a direction in some sort of that angle. Then if this is Earth and they're going to shoot it this way, the Mars is coming, like for example like that, and it's going to land it on it. So they even know the exact location of Mars and what speed and what angle to send the rover. And yet when it comes to talk about the moon, it's a question mark. It's a question mark. Many other technologies that we use to do our other stuff, we use calculators, computers, and other stuff. But when it comes to moon, and I mean, we have solar eclipse that's going to happen today, and we knew that long time ago when is going to happen, which pathway it's going to go. We know the next solar eclipse that is going to be visible from the Earth is, because most solar eclipse happens on the ocean view, then we cannot see it. But these are the specific one where we can see it from the land. So the next one is 2026, August 12. That is going to be visible for many part of the world, Europe and some other part of the world. And for the United States, it's going to be the next one will be year 2044. That is going to be visible from USA. I mean, we know all this. 2044. How many years that is in advance? We already know where the moon is going to be going through. Think about that. The rotation of the Earth and the location and the sun and the moon. We know all those things. So things are getting easier and God is making our life easier. Yet we are still, it's sad to see that we're still confused about the day, because it is so important that if we don't do the fasting on the same day, we will miss one fasting. We'll start one day ahead, or we will be late one day and we will miss the night of destiny, which is more than 1,000 months. More than, even if you take the minimum number, that's a whole lifetime, 83, 84 year of lifetime of worshiping in just one night. Every second is like how many days? We're gonna miss it unless you plan to stay up the last 3-4 nights. Then you can get it, but other than that, but yet we're gonna miss one fasting. God says the fasting is it's important for you if you already know. I'm paraphrasing. So we're gonna miss it, or we're gonna delay or something like that. So mashallah, as a submitter, I'm so blessed that we follow the moon calendar, and we follow exactly where things are, and we do exactly, no confusion whatsoever. Absolutely, we know. Yet we see, we used to do that. We used to follow. We used to do the same thing. We used to ask people around before submission. When is it? Should we do tomorrow? Sometime for the sake of, okay, in case if it's not tomorrow, let's just do fasting tomorrow, just so we don't miss it. So many things would happen. But this is how. So again, to sum up, if the moon is born, and if Maghrib hasn't happened for you, then you're fasting the next day. But if you pass the Maghrib, then you have to go around one more time to pass the Maghrib. Because the Maghrib is when the date changes. So if you are in the previous month and you have passed it, so you're still in the previous month. The date has to change for you the first. So you have to go around, then you come around the Maghrib, then your date change. Now this is, as soon you passed one time, you have to pass Maghrib after the moon is born. So now you're on the first of Ramadan, and then you're gonna fast the day, because the date changes at Maghrib. And if it's Asr time, even 30 minutes left or 40 minutes left, if Maghrib hasn't happened, so you are still in the previous month, and as soon the moon is born, now you're gonna cross the Maghrib, the date changes for you. And then if you're Fajr time and moon is born, you have to go around and pass the Maghrib, and then now you have Fajr. Not have the next day you have fasting. So it's very straight, simple, forward. Praise God. MashaAllah. Thank you.